report from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the department are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider items duly posted for this meeting as permitted by section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking time today to join us and for your interest in the Harris County Department of Education. And with that, we will begin with the invocation led by Joshua Garza of Maintenance and Operations.
Yeah, I'm doing today. Asked about your health today, at this moment. Thank you, God, for another day, successful year at HCDE. Please watch all the employees and the students that enter HCDE doors and for this year. Allow us to continue on for another year and the years to come, and to watch over us and watch everybody. And have a wonderful year in this year into this new year. I'd like to also say, go Astros for the series. Thank you.
Amen. The Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags will be led by Holly Schaefer of the School-Based Therapy Services. Holly.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mr. Garza, and thank you, Ms. Schaefer. I will now open up a public hearing for the purpose of considering the proposed tax rate of .0049 per $100 assessed property value for the tax year 2022, fiscal year 2022 to 2023. The no new revenue rate has been calculated at .004541 per 100 assessed property value. The recommended tax rate is below the voter approval rate of .004915. Are there any public speakers, or are you going to conduct it? Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
There's a copy of the presentation that I'm going to review in your packet. The proper values have the last 6 years. You see the increase in the values from 2016, and now we're into 2023. The last projection was 576 billion, which is an increase of 55 billion from the year before. The last 6 years, the department has lowered the tax rate since 2015, all the way to 2020 and 21. And continue until all the way to 22, and will continue until fiscal year 2023 as a proposed .004900. The nominal rate proposed is 0.004900 per 100 valuation. The no new revenue rate, tax rate, is 0.004541. The board approved tax rate calculated for 2022 is 0.004915. The M&O rate recommended is 0.004900. No debt service rate, total tax rate of 0.004900. This gives you an overview of the values, revenues, and the tax rate over the last, since 2012, and the decline of the tax rate. The amount of revenue projected in our fiscal year 22-23 budget is $27,658,745. Based on the projections of our values, we're estimated approximately 79% of the non-certified values to be certified. In the past, not 100% has been certified, so we're projecting 575 billion to be certified, which gives us 27,659,188, which is what covers our revenue projection for the year. The rate will raise more taxes in the M&O than last year's rate. It will effectively raise by 7.67% and will raise taxes for operations on a home by minus 0.09. And so the next step is to move the, we'll have comments from the public, and then the motion stated in the slide.
Any comments from the public? If not, I guess we will, at this time, entertain the motion. Oh, okay.
Just for the record.
Okay, yeah, so at this time, we'll go to open forum. I don't believe we have anybody signed up to speak. Is anybody looking to speak that's in the audience? If not, we will go to the motion. Is this 8.1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if there's no objection from my fellow trustees, we'd like to bring item 8.1 out of order because we've got Trustee Brown that needs to get across the Golden Gate Bridge there, and let him get about his business. But at this time, we will entertain a motion as
So moved.
No, you gotta read it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got to read it like that. Okay, sorry. Okay, I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of the tax rate of 0.0049, which is effectively a 7.91% increase in the tax rate.
So moved.
got a motion by Trustee Norris and a second by Trustee Hinojosa. Any more discussion regarding this item, regarding the tax rate? If not, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. We've got a new tax rate. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Brown. If you need to get back to your back to work, back to business, thank you for joining us to help us take care of the most important vote of the year, to setting our tax rate. Thank you so much. All right, at this time we will get back to the regular order of the agenda, and that next is reports and presentations, starting with Employee of the Month, Ms. Natasha Truitt, our Executive Director of Human Resources.
Good afternoon. I'm honored today to present our October HCDE Employee of the Month, Griselda Sandoval, a senior accountant in the business office. The Employee of the Month program recognizes HCDE employees who take initiative beyond their regular job duties, demonstrate a high caliber of work, are committed to completing their task on time, work as a solid team member in their division or school and who use creativity, collaboration, and innovation to enhance their overall job performance. Griselda is relatively new to HCDE, but she has already put her stamp on the work she does. According to Marcia Leyva, Chief Accounting Officer, Griselda made an impact within her first few weeks on the job, assuming support for not only Head Start, but CASE financial matters as well. As part of this dual assignment, Griselda is constantly juggling between the two divisions and goes the extra mile to help both divisions solve problems and issues on a daily basis. Ms. Leyva says she has quickly become known for her outstanding customer service and solution-oriented outlook. Griselda does not back down from challenges. In fact, she finds new ways to complete her tasks more efficiently and with better outcomes. She has taken it upon herself to determine how best to work with information in pivot tables and charts so she can help the divisions she supports better understand the complexities of financial operations through visual aids. This is unique because as an accountant, Griselda works primarily with numbers. So to have her create visuals to better articulate the flow of money and timelines for grants is unusual for someone who is typically involved in the financial aspect of a division. Griselda is a team player who puts her colleagues above herself. She is the first to offer assistance to others in the business office, often stepping in to support duties and projects with diligence and commitment. Her ultimate goal is to assist divisions with making the best decisions possible so they can effectively support students and staff. She is a true public servant, putting the needs of the division, HCDE, and the students we serve above herself. I would now like to share with you a video featuring our Employee of the Month.
And expenditures are expenses that we already paid. I love my job. I get to work with Head Start. I'm temporarily working with CASE. I basically manage their monthly expenditures. I do the reporting, their month-end reporting for the Business Services Office. I'm showing $15,337. I just love, being able to be part of something that makes a difference.
I actually recruited Griselda out of one of my classes. She had wonderful skills in the classroom, and of course, now that she's joined us, has the largest grant that we have here at Harris County Department of Education, which is our Head Start program.
I had the pleasure of being a part of her interview committee, and I felt an instant connection to her, mostly about her joy or excitement about accounting.
These numbers indicate the difference from what was registered. I'm just passionate about numbers, and that's why I love accounting. It's all about numbers.
She's just first of all, just a pleasure to be around. But she's constantly looking for ways to improve and literally make my job easier.
She never says no to a challenge. She never says no to anything. She always finds a way to find the solution. She goes here, she goes left, she goes right, but she finds a way to put information together.
One of my favorite things that she's done, because I'm a very visual person, she has taken all of my grants and turned them into pictures for me so I can quickly look at encumbrances, balances.
We share all this information that is very important for us, and we need to be able to teach it and have someone to actually understand it. We have available to spend in green, and that's what I love about doing. And I get to work with people.
Well, I'm very proud of her, and I'm proud of her accomplishments so far. We expect great things out of her. She's one of our rising stars, and everything she does it with a great attitude and a great smile.
I love working here. I love it. I mean, it's an amazing team. It's family.
There you go. This way. On 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations again to our Employee of the Month, Sandoval. Congratulations. And now we'll have a recognition for Principals Month by Mr. Jonathan Parker, Assistant Superintendent of Academic Support Services, and Dr. Charles Ned, Senior Director of Schools.
Well, let's keep the celebrations going. This is October. October has been designated as Principals Month. Now, Mr. Colbert, when you were a principal, had you been honored with Principals Month?
No.
Dr. Rogers, when you were a principal, were you honored with Principals Month?
No.
Dr. Ned, had you been honored with Principals Month when you were a principal?
No, sir.
This is not a new holiday. It's just new to us. This is not a new occasion. It's just new to us. And this is certainly an opportunity for us to recognize the hard work of our exceptional principals who happen to lead some of the most unique campuses in the United States. And so, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Colbert, General Counsel Langlois, thank you guys for this opportunity to recognize our principals. Before I turn it over to Dr. Ned, I'll just simply say that it is certainly a pleasure and an honor to work with these principals. These guys have dedicated their careers and their lives to making a difference for the most needy students in Harris County. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Ned.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. And again, I'm blessed to be able to work with 4 exceptional individuals that lead our schools. We could not be prouder of these individuals and the service that they provide to the students of Harris County, the staff that they lead, as well as the collaboration that they do with interdepartmentally here at HCDE, as well as with our ISD and our other partners students whom we serve. At this time, I'd like to share a brief video profiling each of our campus principals.
Friend. Wonderful. All right. These guys are doing well, man. I'm really impressed with this guy right here.
Were you able to bounce back? How's the rest of the morning been for you?
Good.
And we're being supportive, no judgment, and that we're going to respect the talking piece.
In you, I believe in you. I believe in you.
As hard as I ain't gonna lie, she done meant the world since I've been here. Cause she the one been supporting me, trying to get me up out of here. The whole time I've been here, even the good times and bad times, she done helped me through it. And I really appreciate that.
I do love you, Chris. You know.
I love you too, Ms. Waters.
My dude.
You have to believe me, 'cause I believe in you. I believe in you.
What I like about Miss Godfrey is her understanding, because I missed a lot of days of school, and she was understanding of the reasons why I miss.
'Cause I believe in you, and I know this ain't easy, but we're both gonna make it through. You heard
Quisha McCall, who's also a senior. She's graduating, yeah, woo! You show up every day, you're gonna learn something, and you too make the honor roll, woo!
Dr. Victor Keys changes lives.
A little bit of ABS.
Make coming to school a blast.
Right here.
All right.
Working for Ms. Jones, it's a challenge because she has a vision of helping ABS East and make sure that we are all on one team.
And then you're using this stuff to support your vocabulary.
I believe in you.
Thank you for helping me out, for calming me down.
I love you, Jacob.
Thank you. I believe in you.
Thank you.
I think I had one of the best jobs in the world.
And I could go on and on with the adjectives that could be used to describe these individuals. But at this time, I'd like for each of them to come up. And we have proclamations from the mayor's office. Mayor Turner has provided us with proclamation for each of our principals, as well as proclamations from the governor's office as well. So I did not know this was such a big deal, Mr. Colbert, but now I do. But with that being said, at this time, I'd like to ask our four principals to please come forward. Ms. Waters, Ms. Godfrey, Dr. Keys, Dr. Trevino-Jones, please step up.
They won't vote. Yeah. They won't vote. Get it all up there. They won't
Give one of them just now, and then one with the board.
Sure. We'll do Mr. Colbert first, and then we'll do the whole board. Okay. All right. Let me see. Here we go. This way. One more time. Step in there.
Where do you want?
Just in the middle. All right. Part a little bit. There you go. All right. Here we go. This way. Next one. One more. Perfect. All right. Trustees, please. Thank you. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Here we go. This way on 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congratulations.
I know. You need to be part of celebrating our employees of the month, so take that. Again, on behalf of the board, thank you to our principals for everything you do each and every day to lead our schools and our students. Great job. Now we will have our superintendent's monthly report, Mr. Colbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Really, let me first give a shout out to our principals. You know, about 30 pounds ago, I used to be a principal. Did not get a certificate or a ribbon, a participation award, or any of that. But I can tell you that being a principal is one of the toughest jobs in public education. And I honestly felt like being a high school principal was the hardest job I've ever had. I mean, you're worried about everything. Even at Thanksgiving, you're worrying about your kids. And so you're constantly feel like you're carrying this weight. And then you have to perform with scores. You've got to fill vacancies, all these things you have to do. The other thing that I say is that much of the skills that I use as a superintendent derive from the principalship. It's very, very similar. And there was no other position that prepared me better to be a superintendent than being a principal. Now let me talk to you about the 4 principals we have. They're what I call hard bodies. They're tough. And so one of the criteria of being a great principal is you can't flinch. When everybody else is going crazy and people are running, you're calm. And you say, run that way, not that way. You've got to be the person that has composure at all times because you have to keep every human in your building safe. And that is a big deal. Our principals deal with some of the most challenging students in the entire county. I mean, they are the exception when we talk about challenges. They serve and run the campuses that other principals send kids to because they can't deal with it. And they don't have 1, and they don't have 5, they got like 100 of them. And so they do exceptionally well, and when you go on their campus, you would never know that these are some of the toughest kids in the entire county. And it's a tribute to the leadership. As a superintendent, as a former assistant sup, I used to supervise 72 campuses. I would go on the campus and I could always tell when there was poor leadership because there were kids everywhere. You couldn't tell the difference between a passing period and them being in class. There was no control. Kids weren't in dress code. They weren't doing anything. And that is a tribute to the leadership on the campus. I promise you, any day of the week you can go on our campus, you will never find that. You're going to walk on the campus and wonder if there's even people in the building. It's going to be quiet. You're going to go in the classrooms and kids are going to be learning. You're going to walk into, employees on the campus and they're going to be smiling. They're going to be happy to be there. And that's a byproduct of leadership. We have 4 exceptional principals and they do a fantastic job. And I would get in a bar fight and have them have my back any day. In fact, I'll just stand out of the way and say, Waters, go get them. Sick them. Sick them. Sit back and watch. So thank you to our 4 hard bodies. And I appreciate y'all so much, more than you know. And I love visiting your campuses. And I just hope y'all have a wonderful month. We're going to go out and eat tomorrow night. So give them another hand, folks. To our trustees, I have 2 other things I'd like to speak about. A couple weeks ago, myself, Mr. Parker, and Ms. Godfrey, I actually had an opportunity to present at the national level at the National Dropout Prevention Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Fairly, really didn't know this conference even existed, but it's actually quite large. We did a fantastic job in talking about Fortis Academy, which is a different way of dealing with our adolescents who have issues with sobriety, addiction. Typically throughout the entire country, these kids get sent to alternative schools as punishments. And so what we explain to the audience is that punishment is not how you make that child healthy, that you need to love that child. And so did an excellent job, and we had a pretty good following. But I look forward to that conference next year because I think every one of our principals can present at that level and present our philosophy on how we deal with alternative education. So very proud of that. The other thing is next Monday I will be traveling to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, going to the U.S. Army War College. I'm taking a group of superintendents and cabinet members on a leadership retreat where we will get unbridled access to the U.S. Army War College, and they will teach us leadership strands and going through the different pivotal points of the Battle of Gettysburg. So we will actually go to the battleground to 13 locations where we'll focus on specific leadership strands that translate to our position. We've done this in Gettysburg once before, I believe in 2017. I've taken a group of superintendents to Antietam in West Virginia, and now we're going back to Gettysburg because we have so many new superintendents. So really looking forward to that. It is an exceptional professional development opportunity. Harris County Department of Education is the only public education entity in the United States that gets access to the U.S. Army War College. It's very exclusive, and so we're very proud of that. With that, sir, that's all I have.
And now it's time for an annual division update from our Maintenance and Operations Director, John Prestigiacomo.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Colbert and the board, I'll proceed, if it's okay with y'all. Thank you, sir. Sorry about that. All right. You've seen these mug shots up here before. But the only thing that's actually changed in the last year is Javier Lara, who used to be our operations manager, has now been moved to our assistant director in maintenance and operations. So, good for Javier. So maintenance and operations. We are the division that supports HCDE 24/7, 365, all year round. And I kind of tweaked our motto from last year as we can fix, build, do anything. And the way we do this is with our maintenance technicians and our skilled master craftsmen. And I have up there a word that is like fingernails on the chalkboard in maintenance operations. We don't like to be called handymen because it's just kind of like bad slang. Because we're actually a licensed maintenance technician, has a license with the state of Texas in HVAC, electrical, automotive, locksmith, plumbing, and all of our guys either have a license or are considered a master craftsman. And our master craftsman as our master painter, which I can truly tell you is a master, not a drop of paint on him because it's on the wall. He doesn't spill anything. And our master craftsman can build anything from like the donut wall to, I think he built one of the pyramids actually back in the day, but he's built everything under the sun. We do all this, of course, through teamwork in our group. And just showing here one of the instances, upgrades that we made at NPO in the past year was doing a lot of HVAC work, got very strenuous, and getting a 300-pound compressor up on the roof and having to go up a stairwell about that steep took about 4 or 5 guys, ropes and chains, and got to be a little bit, started to get a little dangerous and cumbersome. So we spent a few bucks and got this nice little portable crane that we put on the roof, and now we can just use 2 gentlemen, as you see here in the pictures, to safely and more efficiently, in 10 minutes, pull up a 300-pound compressor, get all the equipment, and our guys speeding up a job that took 2 days, took half a day. So, okay, so I know this is just a picture of the parking lot. I'll get to that here in a second. But perform other duties as assigned. I think every HCD employee is familiar with this phrase because if I'm not right, or if I'm not wrong, it does, it's the last thing that shows up under major responsibilities and duties in your job description. Perform other duties as assigned. It's very broad. Can mean just about anything, right? I think maintenance and operations performs other duties as assigned excellently. And one of those ways that we do it just happens to be event planning. We do help out with little things here. Okay, so you see that parking lot there. give me 10, 12 maintenance and custodian personnel. Give me about 2 hours. And bam, you got picnic in the parking lot 2 hours later. So, and it wasn't just us. We had, of course, the lovely ladies from HR, we had comms, and we had gentlemen from technology. We all worked as a team, and we all collaborated, teamwork, and worked together to put on this event. And the reason I put this event up here in our presentation was because over the past year, one of the things that when me and Javier were working the door at 6300 and we were giving out the koozies and the fans to people at first were showing up and were like, what's going on, music, and the food trucks. And then 2 hours later, wow, thank you. Boy, that was so much fun. I got to hang out with so-and-so because they're up on this floor and they're in this division. When are we going to get to do this again? And I wish we could do this more often. Boy, we had a great time. And then, boom, it was like right there. Okay, just like Mr. Colbert always has convocation because of that word he loves to use, we got to experience the fellowship right there at the picnic in the parking lot. We got to do that at 6300 here and over at MPO. And I'd like to thank Mr. Colbert here for letting us do one of those because it really brought all the divisions together, and everybody had a blast, and hopefully he'll let us do it again next year. So we got the tents and we're ready to go. So no presentation without some numbers and statistics. But we did complete about 3,400 work orders with 10 maintenance technicians in the field, covering about 30 sites total with about 780,000 square feet, which cover all our campuses, buildings, Head Starts, and adult eds. And with that, where's he? There's my assistant director.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to talk a little bit about our conference centers, our meeting rooms all over our facilities, starting with the conference center on the 5th floor, the 100s downstairs, the ones on Westview. So for our fiscal year 2021-2022, we've had 56,773 attendings on all of our workshops combined with all the centers. And with that, I actually want to talk a little bit about our facility staff, which they're all standing back over there. I wanted to talk about our setup guys, which consist of Justin and Josh, which are back there. They're the ones that are in charge of setting up all the workshops, including here for the boardroom. Then we have our custodial staff, which consists of Angie, if y'all don't mind standing up, and Josie, Chris Elder. Where's Joe Mitchell? Joe left us. And Blanca. Blanca's our carrier that she also helps out in regards to our setups. Also, we have our parking attendants that are taking care of all the vehicles outside, traffic control. They're the ones that dictate, tell everybody where to go. When our workshops, they don't know where to find it, they can tell them where they're at. And that would be Mr. David Jones and Jonathan Murillo. And I don't think they're here right now. They're downstairs. And we also, so we also have our switchboard operator, which is Ms. Chavez. Ms. Chavez, thank you. She's our phone operator downstairs. She's the one that gets all the phone calls from everybody all over HCDE and outside. And who else am I missing here? And our maintenance technician, Mr. Rudy Benavides, he's back there somewhere. He's the one that takes care of the comfort of all the rooms. Make sure if they're too hot, he'll make it cold. If they're too cold, he'll try to make it hot. And of course, the last person, which is their supervisor, Ms. Julie Smith. She's the one that leads the team here at Irvington. Here we have some of the different things that Ms. Julie has had our staff helping out with, taking care of our building, the outside, to make it look more presentable. And I think they're doing a great job, and I wanted to put the spotlight on our Irvington staff today. And with that, I want to tell them all to stand up again, and I want to thank them all for all the work they do. And is there any questions? And that is the end of our presentation.
I'd just like to say that our people do a fantastic job. I'm extremely proud of what all of our facilities look like. You may not know it, but I'm fairly nitpicky. And I've been known to walk through a building with a white glove on, and I don't want to find a speck of dirt anywhere. The floors need to look wet when you walk into the room. And I've never had to nitpick. Not too much. Every now and then I get on some weeds, or we need to edge or something like that. But we just have a great group of people who are intrinsically motivated. You don't have to tell them to do anything. If they see something, they'll take care of it. And I just think it's a great representation of what we are as an organization. I appreciate that y'all appreciate them. And we've got some of the finest people in Houston working in our building, and we need to keep it that way. So I love them to death, and I appreciate your leadership and everything that you do for your department. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Colburn. Thank you, the board.
Again, and now we'll have an annual division update from Therapy Services. Ms. Carrie Crabb, Senior Director.
Okay, see if I can get this adjusted. Okay, thank you very much. Goodness gracious. Good afternoon, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Colbert, and leadership team. Thank you for this opportunity to present to you School-Based Therapy Services Annual Report. Before I get started, I'd like to take just a moment to recognize and to thank my staff for all of the hard work that they do every day. My managers and my administrative team is here today. Would you guys please stand up? These are very hardworking and very dedicated ladies who together support our now over 160 therapists that work in the field out in the district, so all across the county. They support, train, mentor, they hold up our therapists so that they can do the job that they do every day with their students. I'd also like to thank our therapists and recognize them. They're not here today, but they work very, very hard. They go above and beyond, and they put their heart and soul into all that they do with their students every day. A little bit about Therapy Services. We've been around since 1978. Our therapists provide therapy to students with disabilities to help them to be successful at school, to be part of and to participate in their school community, and to prepare for life after school. Services that we provide include occupational therapy, physical therapy, music therapy, management consulting, program evaluation, and staff development and training. We provide services to the community to include our leadership groups. We provide music therapy, mental health, and physical therapy leadership groups. We also provide a training ground for professional fieldwork students who are learning to be occupational therapists, physical therapists, and music therapists. We also provide professional development, and we run a website called TechSpot. TechSpot provides authoritative leadership and resources to school-based therapists all over the state and actually all over the country, because we have people from all over that visit our website. Last year, we served 7,286 students on 31 districts and on 608 campuses. This graph shows a percentage of the students that we served last year broken down by their disability. And as you can see, the largest group of students that we served are our students with autism, followed by our students with intellectual disability, and then other health impairment, which includes things like attention deficit disorder. Last year, we served 5,667 educators, and that included teachers, paraprofessionals, diagnosticians, counselors, bus drivers, the cafeteria staff. We work with everyone on that campus, everyone who might interface with our students. This is a list of the different entities or types of entities that we worked with last year, and a list of all of the entities that we contracted with. Our top 5 contracts last year were Cy-Fair, followed by Katy, Houston, Spring, and Spring Branch. Every year at the end of the year, we like to ask our clients how we did, and we ask them to rate their satisfaction with our services, the quality of our services and the value of our service. And we ask them to rate us on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being highly dissatisfied and 4 being highly satisfied. And you can see over the last 10 years, we've very consistently come in at that 3.5 to 4.0 level. I believe last year we were at 3.86. A few highlights from last year. Our kiddos were coming back to school, and so the numbers of students that we served increased and started to approach those pre-COVID numbers. Just like, we know all students in all of our districts were lost during the pandemic, like sometimes literally lost. We couldn't find them, and so our numbers decreased during that period. We came very close to pre-COVID numbers last year. Our division was able to staff all of our positions despite a very challenging hiring market. Our districts continued to contract with us all throughout the pandemic, all 3 years, and each year the number of contracted days increased over the year before. Last year we presented at the Texas Council of Administrators of Special Education. We presented at both the Texas Occupational Therapy and Texas Physical Therapy Association conferences and at the International Online Music Therapy Conference. Trends that we're seeing an increase in requests for therapists. We are growing, and we believe that that's in part due to just an increase in the special education population. Students are moving in from all over and into this area, and then a lot of students are also just being diagnosed, more students are being diagnosed as eligible for special education. Our districts are also struggling to hire their own, and so more and more districts are coming to us and asking for our help. We're seeing a very challenging hiring market, as you're aware. It's more challenging this year than it was last year, but we are able to hire. We have a few positions that we still haven't filled. Those came to us late in the summer or early in this school year, so we're still working on those. But we hired over 31 people over the summer, and we believe that that is in large part due to our staff referrals. Our staff love working here, and they tell their friends. We also have a large student program, and we're expanding that, and we hire frequently out of our student program. And then just our reputation and outreach. People know us. They know that we're a good place to work, and they want to come here. And then the recruitment and retention incentives that were provided by this board were very well received. Staff really appreciated those retention incentives. The recruitment incentives have helped us to attract more candidates. So we thank you very much for that. COVID, we're seeing fewer disruptions, and it's looking more like back to business on the campuses. The learning and behavior gaps are closing, but challenges remain, particularly with the behavior. Shortages in instructional staff continue. This year has been very challenging, as you know, and that impacts the work that we do because we work so closely with teachers, paraprofessionals, and as I said, everyone on that campus. So when we've got constant turnover in the classroom, that impacts what we're able to do with our students. We're seeing an increased interest from across the state in our leadership and outreach initiatives. More and more people are attending our professional development. More people are visiting our TechSpot website. They're attending our leadership groups. Our student programs are expanding, and we're continuing to ask to present at our conferences, our professional conferences. So what questions do you have?
Go ahead, Mr. Gilbert.
I'd just like to say our therapists do a fantastic job. I did a project way back in the day in Tennessee with a CEO, and he told me, he said, James, what is the #1 goal of any successful company? I said, to turn a profit. He said, you would be wrong. He said the #1 goal of any successful company is to retain a customer. A profit is yet just a byproduct of customer retention. That's how you get referrals. What you see in therapists is the masters of retaining customers. In fact, I counted 13 different entities that we work with outside the county. It's the reputation that draws them to you. It's the reason why we have 160 therapists now. Our therapists do a fantastic job, and they do it through leadership. We have great people who represent our therapists, who go out to the school, who care and love kids. And I think that translates into the services that we're able to bring, also the value. So I love what you're doing. I love what your therapists are doing. We need to keep it up. It's one of my favorite groups to talk to because we're like cousins. And so keep it up. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you.
For that report, Mrs. Crabb. And now, any reports from board members concerning attendance or participation in the board or HCD-related conference, event, activity, or committee? Accolades for an HCD staff member or any other deserving person? None? Okay. How about any reports? Any board members have any reports from any of the committees? None today. All right, we will move on to our monthly financial report. Dr. Amezcua.
The financial highlights as of September 30th, and it is the first month of the fiscal year. Our balance sheet, total assets of $25,122,076, liabilities of $2,280,571, and total equity of $741,505. The estimated fund balance as of August 31st is projected at $23,986,726. For the first month, we have more expenditures than revenues, so a lot of our revenues will start coming in the month of November and December for taxes, and we have other miscellaneous revenues that are coming in early. So we have $2,930,202 as the difference between revenues and resources and expenditures as for the first month. Our financial ratios. The first one, again, this is the first month, so the numbers are going to look a little bit different than your year-end numbers. Unassigned fund balance, 482 as of the first month versus 621 as of last year at the same time. Working capital ratio, we're at 23 million versus 31 million a year ago at the same time. Our unassigned fund balance ratio is at 65% versus 63% from a year ago. Debt to income ratio, it's 0 at this time. Our first payment is until February. Tax revenue is at 0%, and indirect cost ratio is at 0%. Again, because the tax rate was adopted today, we won't start receiving revenues until a couple months from now. Fee-for-service ratio, we're at 19% versus 25% from a year ago. Fee-for-service growth ratio, we're at 39% versus 75% at the same time last year. Again, it's the first month out of the year. We have some budget amendments, but for September we do not have any. So our inflows for revenues, we have a total of 1,710,453, or a 1%. Our expenditures were at 7%, or 12,955,343. Our COVID cumulative disaster relief funds for general fund, we still have available 738,585. In Head Start, we have 986,843, a total of 1,725,428 still available for COVID disaster relief funds. In terms of donations for the month of September, we had donations of total of $2,545. Donations from Adult Ed, Case for Kids, Therapy Services, Head Start, Special Schools, Scholastics, Center for Safe Schools, and others, $2,545. The valuation for the first month, we are at 586 billion. Again, that's projected, 29 billion that are still under protest. So we're right now at 556 billion to start the first month. Again, if everything is currently, we're still basically even through the available valuation. So we will monitor that during the fiscal year to see how much of that is going to be certified between now and August. We have a current tax projected revenue of 27,658,745. Again, it's the first month, so we have not collected much of the tax at this time because we just adopted the tax rate. So it's a 0 on current revenues, but the projected rate is at 98% for the year. Our disbursements for the month were $7,165,048, 418 transactions, 694 P-card transactions, 6 transfers and ACHs. All the detail is posted on our website. Again, this is the first month on segment information data for educational certification, records management, therapy services, and schools. Negative variances because it is the first month out of the year. Choice partners for the first month, we have a benefit variance of 18,594. Our budget amendments includes the addition of revenues and expenses associated with adding 1.5 positions due to a contract increase with Channelview. The amount of $137,830 due to the additional contracts received. In terms of the foundation, we have a total of $460,493 in the foundation. You have detailed information about all the different checks that have been issued for the month, 33,195. And the balances include $446,262 for various projects, after-school initiative, EcoBot, adult ed, construction support services, energy for the future, Dollar General literacy, partners in education, other, and Head Start and tools for teachers amounts available as of September 30th. In terms of our PFC and lease revenue projects, we continue with the small business program for construction. Total amount available in the capital improvement program is $31,582,287, of which $12,666,356 is in the maintenance and maintenance notes, and the PFC we still have $18,915,931. The project's AB East is at 67%. The Irvington 22%. High Point East at 24%. Adult Ed at 42%. Overall, we've spent 41%, and we have available in the fund $31,522,515. In our maintenance notes available, we have $10,168,513 available for the Irvington project. And I believe that is the report for the financial statements. What questions do you have before I go into the investment report? In the investment report, where's the investment report? Here. This is the investment report as of September 30th. All the policy has been certified, and our portfolio is a total of $63,008,660. Public Facilities Corporation is $14,788,707. Our funds are in Lone Star, 43%, Chase, 6%, Texas Class, 18%, Texas Star, 12%, and TexPool, 21%. PFC is 98% in TexPool, 2% in Bank of Texas. This is a comparison from a year ago. We've spent $15,515,885 from that portfolio from a year ago, or minus 20% from 2022. Our funds are all overnight. Basically, they're in the investment pool, $48,219,953. We've earned year-to-date $88,725 for the department's portfolio, and the PFC, $32,306. We're earning on an average of 2.6% per month. And this is kind of a comparison where we were exactly a year ago. A year ago, we were earning 1 basis point, 2 basis points, where right now we're at 2.6%. These are the available rates, and so as you can see, they're starting to climb above 3%. And so you start seeing this in the next few months, that all the rates are going to continue to go up to 3%. What questions do you have in the investment report? Yes, sir.
Can you go to slide 4 for me, please?
Yes.
I might be wrong, but I feel like I remembered this being a little bit less diversified previously. Did you make changes in the diversification with the new interest rates? Can you go over that a little bit?
Yes. Well, we used to have most of this was into 1 or 2. The pies used to be a little larger. The blue and the red, and so we need to make it more of like 15 to 20% across, so that we can have not our money all in one area, be in diversified among the different investment pools. And so, for example, the red one, that's where as we get the tax money, that goes onto Techstar. So that's going to grow naturally. When the taxes come in, they're going to go into Techstar automatically. And so we monitor the percentages so that those will be, in the 20%, 20 to 25% number across the board. So that right now, Lone Star, we need to move some of the money around between the other to the other pools. But it goes back to this chart right here. So he's giving us the highest rates. Sometimes they're just like, for example, here's the difference between Tex Pool and Texas Fit is, almost 30 basis points. And so there's, you don't want to give up too much by moving it around, having a large concentration in one investment versus another. That one in particular, Techstar, is at 2.9, which is still below the 14%, but we're hoping that all these go above 3% here soon. Thank you.
So, Dr. Mesko, just a quick question. So it's beginning to get a little more expensive to borrow money.
Yes.
But we're actually, in turn, making money on our
Yes.
investments. Okay.
Right. So, last year we were making 1%. Now we're at 2.6%.
You have a presentation?
Yes, we have a presentation of the 2022 Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award, and I'd like to introduce Kendra Jackson to come to the podium, and she's going to give you a little bit of the summary of the award.
Thank you, Dr. Mesko. Good afternoon. Okay. I'm going to provide a brief summary of the qualifications of this award. This prestigious annual award is earned by those organizations that demonstrate excellence by obtaining a high score based on criteria designed to measure innovation, professionalism, productivity, e-procurement, and leadership attributes of the procurement organization. There were 171 awardees, 5 of which were ISDs within Texas, and we were one of them. So it is no doubt that our procurement division is worthy of receiving this award. So at this time, I would like to ask them to stand so we can congratulate and acknowledge them. Please stand. Thank you all. Now, I'm sorry. Oh.
I will pass this.
1 second, but now we may not be the Astros, but we hit hard like the Astros because this is our 6th consecutive year of winning this award.
I'm not trying to take it off.
Jackson.
5-year.
All right. Well, congratulations again on that recognition and award, and thank you, Dr. Mesko, for your financial reports. They get them every month. So
Oh, well, thank y'all, because I just thought about it. Thank you, because our attorney right next to me always tells us she tries to keep us out of orange jumpsuit land, and usually when you see school boards on the news, it's a finance issue. So we're blessed to have the opposite issue where they get awards, it seems like every week in our department. So I want to say thank you. It's not normal, but thank you very much for keeping us out of orange jumpsuit land, and keep doing what you're doing right now.
That's right. Thank you for that. So we will move on to our consensus agenda. Do any trustees have any items to pull out of order from consensus? All right. If not, then I will entertain a motion to approve our consensus agenda portion. Got a motion from trustee Norris, second by trustee Inosa. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. All right, we passed the tax rate. So now we move to non-consensus, and it's, the first one is 8.2, approval of contract award for job number 22035 EJ for the purchase, implementation, training of the Centegix Crisis Alert for High Point East, ABS West, Fortis Academy, and ABS East for 3 years from approval date from 10/2025 in an amount not to exceed $97,600.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Duhan, second by trustee Norris. Any discussion?
I would just like to hear a little bit about what this is, if that's all right.
Okay. Is there, oh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Centegix is a alert system that our teachers and staff will wear, like a silent alarm on. It goes on their badge, and so if there's an emergency, they'll press it a few times, and then it will send help exactly to the room. It doesn't work off of wireless, so if the wireless goes down, we'll still be able to get to that teacher. And it won't always send like emergency management. It can send a principal, AP. We're going to set it depending on the clicks of where that help will go.
Oh, wow, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? If not, I think we got a motion and a second, so all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. 8.3, adoption of resolution regarding conveyance of access and water line easements for High Point Middle School construction to the Royalwood Municipal Utility District.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Norris, second by trustee Inosa. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. 8.4, approval of 1.5 additional full-time equivalents positions for the School-Based Therapy Services Division for the school year 2022-2023 to fill additional occupational therapy position requests from Channelview ISD.
So moved.
Got a motion from trustee Norris, second by trustee Inosa. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. 8.5, approval of a stipend for interim director of information technology services.
So moved.
Got a motion from trustee Norris, second by trustee Inosa. Any discussion? Can we get an explanation from administration about this? Yep.
We have a vacancy in our IT division. Our Director of Information Technology resigned. I think the position became effective October 7th. And so because of this is a higher level position, we intend to assign a current staff member in the IT department with the duties of the IT director serving as the interim until we're able to fill the position. And so we would like the board to consider us providing a stipend to the staff member that will not only perform their current duties but assume the interim duties of the IT director.
All right, thank you, makes sense. All right, we had a motion and a second, and any more discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. 8.6, adoption of a resolution concerning emergency administrative leave with pay in accordance with policy DEA local associated with CenterPoint Energy's electricity outage affecting our administration building. Got a motion by trustee Duhan.
Second.
Second by trustee Norris. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. All right, it is now time.
No executive session.
Oh, no executive session today. Okay. think that is it for the agenda.
Move to adjourn.
Oh, okay. Number 11, discussion possible on any possible action regarding future agenda items. Any trustees have anything? All right. Now we will take that motion to adjourn from trustee Norris.
I'll move.
Second by trustee Nohosa. And, all those in favor? We are adjourned. 2:32. Thank you.